Hello everyone! In this video we're gonna check out all the details of the new short that the Planet Coaster team shared a few days ago. I have been wanting to record this video since the short was released, so now here I am and we will see all the details because the original video is kind of like super fast, so they could condense everything into 1 minute. But right now we're gonna see it in slow motion, so we can check out all the details. So let's begin. And we're gonna stop at specific moments so we can take a look at everything in this short because there are a few new things. First of all, we see this. We see the coaster like this. We see that the final coaster that we're gonna build during the short. And you can see like the lighting. One of the things that really impressed me here were the lighting and the texture of the water over here and the reflections. Like the water looks super realistic, and this is, I think, the first time we can see natural water up close. So let's continue. We see that roller coaster coming down over here, and this is one of the first times as well that we've seen the first person point of view from the roller coaster. I've seen a lot of people talking about coaster smoothing, and remember that I'm new to Planet Coaster itself, but I think this one looks really smooth in my opinion. I'm not an expert, of course, but yeah, I think this looks really nice, and I love all the details. Like over here, I would be really afraid of this if I were in real life, in a real life coaster. So here we go to the wave coaster speed build. Building your own coaster has never been easier. This is something that I would also love to mention because yeah, this is like the first time that we've seen natural water. It's different from the pool water, so close in one of the official resources that Frontier has shared. We can also see another body of water over here. This is also natural water, but what's interesting here is that notice how they have like a different shade or a different color. This is like a greenish color, and this one is more like a bluish, light blue color. And that's awesome because we will be able to recolor water like we can recolor it in Planet Zoo. So that it gives us a lot of room for customization. Over here, we're seeing how the roller coaster is being built piece by piece, how the pieces are rotated and extended and moved, how they create different loops. We already saw the loops tool when we had the second deep dive. You can check out my full video analyzing that second deep dive on my channel. I have that there. And we can see how they are adding the loops very easily. And another great thing is how you can notice how there are no collisions. You can get really close to the supports, like you can see over here. We're building like right next to the supports and there are no collisions. So that really gives us room for endless creativity. The process continues, and I also love seeing the rock texture. It looks very similar to the rocks that we currently have in Planet Zoo, and I love that they did that using assets and pieces that we already have in Planet Zoo and bringing them over to Planet Coaster 2. It's just brilliant because it's the same. I mean, why work on the same thing twice? I think it's a great move by Frontier that must have saved them a lot of time so they can focus on the core features of Planet Coaster 2. Here we can also see how the roller coaster is recolored very easily. You can see that over here if I go backwards like this. You can see that it used to be green, and now with just one click, it seems to be like this. With just one click we can just recolor the roller coaster and it will be pink. So that's a real time saver. And over here we can see the options for customizing like the patterns on the rides, the colors of the different areas of the cart, and how we can scale objects. We've seen that already, but it's just amazing to see it one more time. Also the symmetry tool and how we can affect all trains and all carts with them. We can also see the thatch roofs. We also have these thatch roofs in Planet Zoo. I think we got most of them with the Oceania pack, and they just look amazing. And this one is a new piece, I think. We have something like this, like pillars with ropes around them in Planet Zoo, but I really don't remember seeing this like detailed mesh or yeah, it's sort of like a rope mesh, I think, and it looks really nice, really natural, like a barrier. We can also see the tools over here. This is something that I think we didn't see before. I don't remember seeing that in other videos before, like the advanced move tool. This is a new tool, I think. It looks like a plane, and it's like moving things on a plane. I'm not sure what this will do. This is also for moving, I think, like the basic move tools. And this is for exiting the menu. This is for confirming. So this also looks great. We see the scaling in action one more time. And here we are decorating the bridge. I think this is like a bridge or a platform, not sure. But it looks amazing. We also have some lights over here. And I just love the way they are building the coaster. One by one, piece by piece. Yes, we have these pillars. This shows how much creativity can go into every single coaster that you build in Planet Coaster 2. And how you can use the pieces creatively, because look at that, they are using the pieces to create an open roof over there. Also the lighting. Notice the lightings, and something that Rudy Rancamo mentioned in one of his videos is that this short also gives us hope for having dark rides in the game. With the updated engine and the new lighting, I think this also gives us hope that we will be able to have dark rides at some point. But with everything that we have been seeing so far, I think the developers have done an amazing job with this. In this part, we are seeing something very, very interesting. We're seeing some of the textures that we can have on the ground, like this. We can see like some rocky texture, which I think looks so good. Yeah, I think it looks better than the one that we have in Planet Zoo right now. So kudos to the team. We also see this like a pale yellowish texture. Not sure what to call that. I think it's sand, but I would have to see it in more detail to know if this is actually sand. It's like, I think darker than sand. I think this one is sand and this one is like darker. It's like dirt. I'm not really sure. But it's great because in another video, I think they mentioned that we have like, I'm not sure if this was official or if it was shared by another content creator from the Gamescom, but I think someone mentioned that we have 17 textures confirmed so far for the terrain, which is awesome. And this one is another detail that I would really love to highlight because I think it's awesome. You can edit the terrain after placing the roller coaster and the supports. Just notice what is happening here. The supports are adapting to the terrain. Like this. We are syncing the terrain and the supports are keeping the tracks at the same level, so the tracks are not being moved, but the supports themselves are being extended as we reshape the terrain. So that is amazing. We can still work on the terrain after placing the roller coaster. That is just amazing. If we go back to the normal video here, okay, and then we place the shallow water. This is another thing that we hadn't seen. We can have pillars on water. That is interesting. And here we also see the scenery brush in action. Now it's super easy to add trees and other plants like this. That will be really a game changer for all the Planet games. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight here in this short, because it has too many little details that are worth mentioning, is that they do it really fast, but once you see it like this in a slower pace, you will notice that they are using this over here. The brush, the scenery brush, but now they're using it for rocks only. Notice this. It's like super fast, but if you see it in slow motion like this, you can see that they are using that brush to add the rocks. And that is another great preview. We didn't see this before. We've only seen this with trees, I think, but we never really saw a brush for rocks only. And I think they look amazing. So now we can do the rock work, but we can have like a foundation with the scenery brush, and then we can add more details to it. But I think it looks so natural, and they're combining like rocks of different sizes and shapes. So it looks amazing, really. I think it looks amazing. Thank you, Frontier, for sharing that preview. We can also see the resize or the scaling tool. Over here we had like this bush, which was really large. I think it was like a tree. and then they scale it down to look more like a bush, which is actually what we were doing already in Planet Zoo. We were like using trees as bushes when we sunk them into the ground, but now we can actually scale them and keep them as bushes directly in the game. That will also be a game changer. We also see the palm trees and how they resize them. And now we have a first-person point of view of the final roller coaster. Let's take a look at it over here. And here we have the fall and something that I hadn't noticed here. This is something that I hadn't noticed. It's like a car or a Jeep over here before the curve over here. I didn't notice this before. Maybe this is a hint that we will have some sort of transportation ride. I'm not really sure, but that is really promising. Whee! Okay, and then we go out of the first person point of view and we go to a third person point of view that still looks amazing. We also see another car here. Look at this. There are so many details to dissect from this short, and it was great because they kind of gave us that task of being the detectives here, because they added so many details in just 1 minute, and they can only be seen if you watch the video in slow motion like this. We can also see the clouds. I think that's another detail that they wanted us to see here. The clouds look so realistic and fluffy. They're almost like cotton balls, and yeah, I think they also add a realistic touch. So that is like a preview of the weather effects, I think. Look at this, we have like a cloud that looks like it's going to start to rain. So I look forward to that as well. Another detail here, well, the car, and we also see some decorations like the flowers. And this one over here, which is like, I think it will be a light, a hanging light. And finally, when the coaster reaches the station, we can also see it over here from the station point of view. And here I don't see any new details, just the beautiful palm trees. And this over here, this is another thing that I really love about this game, is how they're handling the water effects below water. Like, look at this, the reflection. It looks so realistic and based on the angle where the sun is hitting the water. So those are the small details that will make the game much more realistic. I absolutely love the water effects. And love that final transition. I think it was perfect. We can also see some details below the coaster train over here at the end. And that's the short, the Planet Coaster 2 short that we just got. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo video on my channel. If you like this video, I really appreciate your likes and subscribe to find more Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo videos on my channel. I will see you there.